Okay kids, well, like the title of the video says, we are going to do the unboxing of our new Ruger. And let's move these fellas out of the way. It is the, of course, SR1911 CMD. CMD is, of course, the abbreviation for Commander. Ah, look at this beautiful thing. All right, let's get this chamber flag out of here so we can have a proper look. What a work of art, huh? The beautiful, the very beautiful Ruger SR1911 CMD. CMD for Commander. Ooh, what a beautiful, beautiful gun. Okay, so in traditional unboxing style, let's take a look at what comes with this beautiful, beautiful piece of hardware. Ruger keeps it, they keep it pretty simple. So obviously the gun, we will set him aside, come back to that in a moment. Chamber flag for safety that was in the gun. You get an envelope with the first round, test round fired from the factory, and in this case they fired this one on April 19th 2013, so it's been sitting somewhere for a while. You get the instruction manual, of course. Ruger also includes a little pistol rug or carrying case, however you prefer. Very simple, pretty no frills, but you know, it comes with it, which is nice, and you know it'll fit, so that's a good thing. Nice important designation there, made in the USA. Prescott, Arizona, or Prescott, as the folks in Arizona typically will say. And over on this side of the box we have not one, but two magazines. We have a barrel bushing wrench. We have our second magazine. And we have a lock. And again, two magazines. This is the Commander, so this is available in the 7-round magazine variety. I know the 5-inch, the full 5-inch SR1911, I believe comes with one 8-round and one 7-round magazine. But in this case, two 7-rounders, but flush, no extra foot plate or anything at the bottom of them. Just a nice flush magazine, which I kind of prefer, actually. Ruger certainly did enter the 1911 market, and by all accounts they entered it with a bang, no pun intended. Of course you have the Ruger logo, the phoenix bird, both here on each grip and also in the slide itself. Made in the USA. So pretty much my understanding is that every single component of this firearm was made in the United States. Everything in this box was made in the USA. That is my understanding. Even the parts that Ruger themselves doesn't actually manufacture are contracted to other US manufacturing companies. So that's a big plus. I've been itching to buy a 1911 recently, and the Ruger SR1911 was on my short list. I mean, it was like within the top 3, and very, very likely within the top 2 of the ones I was most interested in. And when I made my purchase decision today, I actually held both the 5-inch and this Commander, which is the 4 1/4, in my hand side by side, and I compared the two, and I just sort of made up my mind. The out-of-the-box manufacturer's suggested retail price is $829. All right, so just some of the basics, some of the boilerplate stuff. Again, the capacity of the magazine is 7 rounds, so you have a 7+1 available capacity in 45 ACP. Construction is entirely stainless steel, except for the rosewood grips and the black anodized accessory pieces that you see, which, by the way, is a very striking contrast. It's just a beautiful, just a piece of art, absolute piece of art. Overall length of this gun is about 7 3/4 inches. That would be from the tippy tip of the beaver tail to the tippy front of the barrel. We are talking about a 1.34, according to the specs, overall width, and that would be, I would think, at the grips would be the widest part, possibly, unless they're counting the safety. They may be counting that safety. The barrel length, it is a 4.25, 4 1/4. It's about 5.5 inches tall, this gun, and it weighs 36.4 ounces. So it's got the weight. It's got the weight and feel of a 1911. It feels like what you expect it to feel like. The trigger is an aluminum trigger. It is a skeletonized trigger. It does have an over-travel adjustment screw. This gun has a titanium firing pin, and I also understand that they have a heavier firing pin spring in this gun. And the reason for that is because they copied the Series 70 design rather than the Series 80 design, which is more popularly copied, or more commonly copied, I should say. And that means that there is no firing pin block. So the reason for a firing pin block in most semi-automatic handguns is as a drop safety feature, so that the firing pin cannot move forward without the trigger being depressed. And again, that's a drop safety device. To overcome the need for a firing pin block, Ruger put in an extra heavy spring and an extra light titanium firing pin, so that they were able to pass all the required tests for drop safetiness. Safetiness? Is that a word? For drop safety. What the result is, what that means to you, I mean, I don't care if it's titanium or aluminum or, you know, a toothpick in terms of the firing pin. Well, maybe if it was a toothpick, I might have a complaint. But what that really means to us, the shooter and the owner of this fine handgun, is a smoother trigger. Because just having to incorporate the firing pin block into the fire control group or the trigger group, and have one more piece of mechanical apparatus that has to be operated, adds a little bit of grittiness and you know, additional feel to the trigger. So this thing is supposedly got a really nice trigger, and from a just from a dry fire standpoint, very crisp. Talked about the grips. These grips are rosewood. They are beautiful. They did a really nice job. Very traditional. Everything about this gun is very traditional. So you've got a nice double diamond, well checkered grip with the really nice Ruger logo inlaid. Obviously you could change these out to if you wanted to. 1911 grips are a dime a dozen. You can probably get them at vending machines at the mall. But this is a really nice pair of grips. I think we're going to have to leave these alone, at least for a while. Controls are for right-handed people only. Left-handed shooters need not apply. You could probably turn things around if you needed to make this a left-handed operation, but it is definitely out of the box configured for the right-handed shooter. It does have an ambidextrous trigger, though. I did notice that. The sights on this gun are really nice. These are Novak sights, low profile, 3-dot configuration, or some people refer to that as a combat style sight. Really quick to pick up, really nice sights. Okay, you have a combat style hammer, which has also been skeletonized. You have a great beaver tail safety here with a almost a cup to it, not quite as cupped as some, but really nice beaver tail. Safety only on the right side, or only on the left side, I'm sorry, for the right-handed shooter. The safety is not ambidextrous. It's a good sized paddle on the safety. It's not so wide that it's annoying or in the way, really, but it's got good width to it, so it's easy to operate. Gives your thumb a nice ledge to rest on while you shoot. Slide lock, slide release lever is the standard and traditional slide lock and slide release lever for a 1911. As far as the guts and the insides, we'll take a look at that later. Yeah, I'm getting this thing dirty. What's going on there? Magazine well has been beveled out. Just a little bit, but it's got a decent bevel, so that makes it a little easier to get your magazines in there. Magazine release is very pronounced. You can see, let me zoom in here a little bit. Magazine release button sticks out pretty good. Again, very traditional, very standard, but I think it is more pronounced than it would be on the original design. Easy to operate. It's got a good firmness to it, but yet pushes in real well. And it's got a nice checkering on the outside for grip. This the beaver tail safety, very nice. Very easy to find a nice home, get a nice high hold. Got a very good pronounced beaver tail to it, so you don't have to worry about the dreaded hammer bite that some people have problems with 1911s. You certainly don't have to worry about slide bite, although that's generally not a problem because of the height of the slide relative to the beaver tail. But it's going to protect you from that. Ruger did decide to stay with the barrel bushing design and configuration, as opposed to putting the bushing, incorporating the bushing in the barrel, or trying to do a tight fit with the slide and the barrel. Ruger decided to go ahead and keep the bushing, partially I think in nod to the traditional design, and partially because it's a less expensive way to manufacture. It allows you to have a very accurate gun without the extra manufacturing costs of the tight fit that you have to, and the tight tolerances you have to try and hold without a bushing. All right, let's do a quick field strip and just look at the innards here. Okay, there you have it. There's all your guts. Sorry for the squeamish folks. We have our bushing. We have the front end of our recoil spring and guide rod. This is the little guide rod. This is the short guide rod, not the full-length guide rod. And of course the barrel and lug. Very well milled slide. The slide is milled, not stamped. It's not the tightest in the world. You know, the fit, there's a little rattle to it and a little movement. To me, that's fine. I didn't buy this to be a super high-grade match gun. I don't want it to be a prima donna when it comes to ammunition. The frame, again, very traditional, very plain, very ordinary. Just your basic 1911. The barrel has got a, there's a little cutout here at the top, so that's a sort of a loaded round indicator so that you can see your brass as you look down on it. It's also pretty well throated. Got a nice bevel to the barrel here, and in the frame we've got a very nice feed ramp. So again, having not fired this yet, I am optimistic that it is going to perform very well in terms of feeding. So I will definitely have more to report on that after I fire it.